Okay, right. Welcome everybody to our 32nd Families Grow Together show. Today is a special day because we are coming to you to reintroduce ourselves to you. Now, we've been running this show since November 2022, and we have talked about a range of topics that we are interested in, some of which are part of what we do. But today we thought it wise that we'll come back to you to reintroduce ourselves and to tell you what we have coming in the future. So my name is Akwa. I'm an early intervention practitioner. You're going to learn more about me in a couple of minutes, but I'll hand it over to Nelly to tell you who she is and what she does.
Hello, thank you, Akwa. I am Nelly Kwasumi, and I am a co-founder of Hand in Hand, but I'll talk about me first, and Hand in Hand will come after. So I am a transformational life coach, and I'm also a social worker. I have extensive background working in mental health settings, like a rehabilitation center, secure unit, the prison, and also in the healthcare sector, general health, and in the hospital. So health and social care, something that I'm really, really passionate about. And all these experiences that I've got has really helped me and contributed to me developing considerable skills. Like for people who knew me before, I was described as a shy and very fearful person because I used to be very scared of almost everything. But now, all these skills, these learnings that I've gone through has made me a person that sometimes I look at myself and I really admire myself that, yes, I love the person that I'm seeing on the mirror. I love my reflection because I've gained that confidence that I can say what I think. Because previously, I used to have conversations in my head over and over and over to make it really perfect before I say it out loud, because I was so scared not to say the wrong thing because I knew I could easily get in trouble. So this might sound like you, I don't know, or probably someone you know. And because of all the experiences that I went through in my adulthood, I lost the person that I used to be. I felt very low. Sometimes I really struggle even to express myself. When I want to talk, sometimes I would just cry without really understanding why. I felt very, very worthless. And the worst part was that I could not even discipline my own children, who are my everything. Sometimes when I wanted to talk to my children, I just start crying. And I would reflect, I said, I am the parent, I am the adult, my children look up to me. And if I cannot have the courage, the confidence, the authority to speak to them, where am I leading them to? And I was like, I have to do something. And I knew I could not pretend to try to discipline my children or bring them up the way I wanted when inside I felt empty. So then I thought about it and I said, I needed to work on myself. I did not know what I had to do, but I just knew that I needed to do something, change my life to feel more comfortable, more confident. So that was when my transformation journey started. When I started, I was just like, how can I know who I am? So then YouTube is my go-to place. So I went on to YouTube, and what came to mind was motivational speaker. As I typed motivational speaker, the first speaker who came up was Lisa Nichols. I listened to Lisa Nichols and I was like, what? Can someone really be like the person Lisa used to be, who was on government assistance? That's how they call it in the UK, in America. So she was on state benefit. And now she is one of the top millionaires in the US. And in the line of transformational speaker, she is top. That was actually, I felt so inspired. I was watching it over and over and over, and something stuck in my ear. She said she went to a particular conference 55 times. And I was like, okay. And I was listening. And each time I listened to the same video, I heard something different. So that was how my transformation journey started. It started several years ago, like 15 years ago, because I was doing it on my own. And again, I did not have the money. I didn't even know who to approach. But even if I knew at that time, I had no money to pay for a coach. It so happened that gradually I was gaining confidence until it got to the stage where I could pay for some courses. I attended so many conferences, watched so many videos. And then I realized that I feel very comfortable being who I am, because there were certain things about me that I was refusing because I was scared that my family, my community might reject me. Being a Christian, from a Christian background, I might not accept it. But then I realized that that conflict within me increased. So I was like, I just have to accept this me for who I am. I will not let anyone tell me who I think I need to be. So I put a blank on all of those. So obviously I fell out with a lot of people, but it was for my own good. So the way I am feeling now, I feel like excess energy. And this has given me the passion, the encouragement, the confidence to help other people, because you watching, you are a rare pearl, but because of all the things, all the challenges, all the problems, the difficulties, what people tell you you ought to be, they have covered you, they have covered that pearl. So this is what I do now. I help people to remember their true self. So you'll be true to yourself. So all this faking, there'll be no need for you to fake if you know who you truly are and you accept yourself. So when you are authentic, you will no longer need to rehearse conversations in your head. Anything that comes to mind, you can say it. And if a mistake comes out, well, it's a mistake. Accept the mistake, because that's just you. So it will help you to offload a lot of things, because just rehearsing conversation drains your energy a lot. So that is why I chose transformational coaching, because I have conversations with you, with the person who is concerned. And I don't look at the symptoms. I have deep dive conversations. I go to the root cause. Most people feel uncomfortable, but once they start, they realize that, oh, this is something that I've not talked about it ever. And they need to have that safe space that they can talk. Because transformational life coach is my business. So my business is my business. There's no gossiping. All your information is stored confidentially. Any conversation that we have stays between you and myself. So I have just a few conditions if you want to work with me. One, you will be ready. You might not be sure of what you really want, because no one really knows what they want actually. Be ready that, yes, you want to get out of your comfort zone, because we call it comfort zone, but it is not comfortable anyway, because you know that you need to please people, and that is not being comfortable. So when you are ready, ask yourself, are you willing to challenge yourself? Because when in this journey of transformation, you discover certain things about yourself, and some of them You might feel very agitated about them because they're just you. And because probably people around you, say your parents, your community, your society, forbid that. But then because it is you, if you don't accept it, you keep experiencing the inner conflicts. So, which is why I said, be ready, be willing to challenge yourself, be committed. I will hold you accountable. So when I say I'll hold you accountable is what you say, what you tell me that you will do, I will remind you and follow up. That you said you will do this. Have you done it yet? What time will you start? It's not a matter of finishing because it's always continuing. What time will you start? How often will you do it? So that is my own part, hold you accountable. Because if I have a conversation with you, transformation does not start or end there. The transformation is when you go, when you are on your own, especially at quiet moments. That's when the real you comes out and you have reflection, you have thoughts. That is when transformation really starts. So you do the job, you do the inner work. I will just be there to support you through that journey. So if you need any help, if you struggle with self-esteem, confidence, you don't really know who you are, you feel worthless, I'm here. I've been there, which is why I can say it confidently that I know I don't know exactly what you're experiencing, but similarly, that is a kind of area that I experience. And I can hold your hand. Like we say, there's fast track. That is a fast track. If myself, I started nearly 15 years ago, if I had someone who will hold me accountable, I don't know who I could have been today, but I know I wouldn't have been in my current situation, but things happen. So if you are there, you want to make that change, I am like, fast track, I'll hold your hand and we'll go quicker. It will save you time, it will save you money, and you will realize or remember who you truly are within a reduced space of time. So I will end there for now and I'll pass it over to Aqua. Thank you so much, Aqua. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you, Nelly. Right, our transformational life coach, you are. So, audience, if you're struggling with anything that you need help with, we're not medical doctors, no. We are people who want to hold your hand and walk that journey with you. As Nelly has said, she has gone through it, and it is best to work with somebody who has gone through it and overcome. You don't want to learn from somebody who has not overcome that challenge. They may be on the journey, but maybe they're a bit further than you. So you want to learn from somebody who knows what it feels like. I was listening to John Maxwell today, and he was talking, and they were talking about his book, 16 Laws of Communication. And one of the things that he said, and I put a quote on it about it on Facebook today, you have to connect with your audience. One way of connecting with your audience is by being vulnerable. You don't want to look perfect to your audience because there is nothing as perfection. So if Nelly is telling you her life story and is telling us her life story and being vulnerable to say that she's gone through all these trials and tribulations, she's telling you that you as well, if you're in that space, she can walk alongside you. She can tell you the struggles that, how she overcame the struggles and the obstacles, because I'm sure she will openly tell you that it wasn't a smooth journey. It's been 15 years and ongoing. So if you're in that space and you need somebody to hold your hand, please contact us. Nelly, you have a company. You didn't tell us the name of your company. You just told us about Hand in Hand. Yes, we are going to come and talk about Hand in Hand because before we came and before we formed Hand in Hand, we were two separate companies, two separate entities. So And we still have those two separate entities. Hand in hand is just a third entity that we have come together to form. So what is your business called and how can people get in contact with you?
Oh yeah, thank you so much for that. I forgot. Yeah, so the name of my company is Clarify Thy Uniqueness Limited. And the choice of that name, it took me quite a lot of reflection and meditation to come up with that name, because I know each and every one of us is unique and special. We need to clarify that we are unique. So that is the ethos of my business name, Clarify Thy Uniqueness Limited. So I have a website, and it is www.clarifythyuniqueness.co.uk. I have a Facebook page, which is Clarify Thy. I am on LinkedIn as Clarify Thy. And I am on Instagram as Clarify Thy. So if you clarify Thy uniqueness, I'm sure you'll find it some point.
Right. Would you put that in the comments, please, so that people can directly click on it and get your details?
Yeah. Thank
Good
you.
stuff. Good stuff. So now you all know who Nelly is. You all know what she can do, and you all know where you can find her. Right. So I think it's my turn to tell you who I am. I don't know where to start. So, like I said earlier, my name is Aqua. I am an early years practitioner. I've worked in the childcare setting for over 15 years, since 2005. So that would be, about 17 years now. I started as a volunteer. When I came into this country, I wasn't working. I had one child, and I thought, okay, I want to set a good foundation for her. I'm going to look after her for the first few years of her life before she goes to school. And I didn't exactly know what I wanted to do, seriously. So I said, okay, let me try childcare. And maybe if I go into childcare, maybe doing something that worthwhile while looking after her. So I just started by volunteering in a creche in church while some asylum seekers were studying English. And then from there, I'm like, oh, this can be fun. So I did some early years in the courses in the community, just level 1 courses, just to see what it looks like to work in the childcare sector. So when I did that, I'm like, oh, I like it. So I decided to become a childminder because I wanted to earn some money while looking after my child. And I was a childminder for a couple of years. But because people didn't really know me, I was new in the country, I didn't really know many people. I didn't have many clients. So after a couple of years, I decided to go out and work in the rat race. And so I joined the Children's Society as an anti-bullying project worker. So I went into schools and to work as an anti-bullying project worker. We did a playground pals training for primary schools and peer mentoring for secondary schools. So I did that that was just short-term contract. And then I found this new job that I've been doing for the past early years practitioner, and now right start assistant practitioner. And as such, my role is provide early intervention activities for children and families. I do assessments, I do one-to-one and group sessions with children who are delayed in their learning and development. And we also provide universal services to all families. But as a businesswoman, I started a company called Attached SC Consultancy. Why? Because 2 of my children had speech impediment. Now, when my second child was delayed in the language development, I didn't even know. I wasn't aware. I had no clue. I just thought, okay, she'll talk. And many of us have those same beliefs. Children are going to talk whenever they talk. And so I didn't know that there was help out there. I didn't even realize that she was delayed because I had no clue. I was in the childcare business, but I hadn't done many courses about child development as such. So I've done the basic courses to become a childminder. We don't go deep into child development. So I wasn't aware of what the developmental stages and milestones were supposed to be for children until mine became, mine were delayed. So for my second child, I didn't know, I didn't seek help. I was just helping her unconsciously. So I would, because I was a childminder, I had lots of early years toys at home. So we'll play with them. And she was good with puzzles and things like that. And my friends would come and said, wow, she's very advanced. I'm like, advanced how? I mean, I didn't know what she was supposed to be doing. I didn't look at it as, you know, anything special. I just thought she was playing with toys because the toys were there. And that is when what we call unconscious incompetence. Like we are not we're doing something good, or unconscious competence. We're doing something good without even realizing. So anyway, she eventually spoke. And then my last one also had speech impediment. She had a lisp. So she wasn't delayed. She had a speech, sound disorder. So she needed speech therapy. How did I know that? We had this event in school. It was like a play and stay. It was called FAST, Families and Schools Together. So they were bringing parents in to bridge that gap, to work in partnership with parents so that we all know what is happening in the school and to get that close relationship with family. So I joined this program, and during this program, they'll bring professionals to come and speak to parents. So just to tell us what services are available. So they'll bring firemen, police, and during one of these days, they brought a health visitor in. And as she talked with everybody in the group, she came and spoke to me as well. And as she was speaking to the children, she realized that, she noticed that my last one was, had a lisp and she was modeling her sounds. And so she asked me if she had been assessed. I'm like, assessed for what? And she said, speech.
Aqua, your network is playing up. Aqua, your sound is breaking.
Assessment. I don't know anything about that. I haven't had any, she hasn't had any assessment. So she said, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it's okay now. You can continue. Okay, so Aqua has some technical issues there. So she was just explaining how she came about with Attached Consultancy Limited. And she was saying that it was her experience with two of her children. And she has just dropped out. So we will wait for her to come. But in the meantime, I'll just be reflecting on what she had said. So she did not know what speech delays was. One of her daughters had the speech delays and then a second child. And it was not until she was at a meeting and health visitors came and was talking. And then when they spoke to her and the daughter, then the health visitor said, the child has a speech impediment, a speech delay. And that was when Aqua got into working with children with speech delays, because it was an interest of her because of her children. And just looking at Aqua's example, children mostly work as, or children are mostly motivators for parents, because parents love their children. Though some parents, they struggle to really show that love for their children. But if you look at the bottom of it, parents really love their children. So whether they provide the appropriate care or not, that is another issue. So it's similar to myself. My children were my motivator to be, to start knowing who I am, because I realized that there was something wrong with me, like I said before, because I felt very low even to talk to my children. And I thought that if I felt very at ease, if I could not feel at ease to talk to my children, then who will have that fun, that play with my children? And I knew I had to do something. And if you look at it similarly, that's what Aqua has gone through. And speaking to some parents, their children are motivators for them to do things differently. So you might be watching and you don't have a child. It doesn't mean that you will not have a motivator. Some parents have children, but sometimes the children are not their motivators. But if you examine that thing or those things that make you to wake up in the morning, to push yourself to do something, even when you don't feel comfortable to do it, that is your motivator. Focus on that. Because whenever you feel very low, you don't want to do anything. For me, I look on my children. I think about my children, and it's the same with Aqua. Think about your children and get up, force yourself to get up and take that action, because you know you are taking that action because of your children. And that is what a motivator is, someone who pushes you to take action. The children, or whatever the motivating factor is, might not even know that they are the ones pushing you or forcing you to take certain actions, but you know, because you hear, for instance, parents say, I will do everything and anything for my child, because they know that is the child or the children are their motivators. So for yourselves, look for yours. I have explained mine, that they are my children. Aqua has also explained hers, that her motivator are her children. And that is the reason she went into speech, working with children with speech delays, because her two children had those experiences. So for yourself, think about your own, because yours will be unique to you. Yours will be very different from even your sibling, even your friend, but yours will be yours. There might be some similarities, but there will also be some differences. Focus on yours. Don't focus on some other person. So yeah, Aqua has come back alive. Just before Aqua goes or continues with her, just realize that I did not say the services that I offer. So Aqua, I'll just I'll just say it quickly. So I clarify that Uniqueness Limited, I offer coaching services. I offer one-on-one coaching, group coaching, online. If you are within Greater Manchester, I can do an in-person one. I run workshops on mental health and emotional well-being, because like in my community, in the African community, it is a taboo sort of to talk about mental health, and it is had a personal experience around that. And then I run some shows online, like last month, I was talking about mental health because it's my. So those topics that we avoid to talk, I like to talk about them. Yeah, thank you, Akko, and over to you.
I am so sorry, my internet just went off and I got thrown out of the Zoom. Well, I'm here. I'm back, and thank you, Nelly, for filling in the gaps. And yes,
the internet is still playing up, Aqua. Aqua, we can't
hear. Who got me interested in language delay. So internet unstable again. It looks like I'm gonna have to go on my phone. It's really unstable. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Maybe probably you go on the phone if the Wi-Fi is
phone
up.
Yes, to go on my phone. Yes, you can.
Oh, she's gone again. So technology, this is a thing. Sometimes, or most times, we really have to be flexible because you can plan everything, but things happen. When things happen, we don't need to be tense. We just need to accept what has happened, because things doesn't always go the way we want them to go. And it's just the same like in our lives. Like growing up, we were told that go to school, finish primary school, go to high school, college, get your GCSEs or your GCE, go to university, get a job. But then a lot of us will realize that life is not that way. It isn't. So we don't need to beat ourselves up that things are not going the way. We need to be flexible, be relaxed and say, okay, that has happened. What next? What can I do? So instead of sticking to the problem where you not even know how to deal with it, develop a solution-focused mind that whenever you meet a challenge or a problem, ask yourself, that situation, what can I learn from it? And take it from there. Whereas if you want to be focusing on the problem, oh, this problem happened because it will not help you. And unfortunately, a lot of people are in that state where they focus on the problem. And when we focus on the problem, it drains us of our energy, because you put in so much thinking of the problem. And the saddest thing is you just go in a circle on and on and on and on, and it never ends. But you feel very tired because you spend a lot thinking. And because the mind is so creative, the mind will bring more information, more creative information around the problem. So because it is creating more problem in your head, the problem will become very, very big. But then in real life, it will not be anywhere near the way the problem is in your head. But then if you start looking for solutions, again, it's information you feed your mind. Your mind will, again, very creative. It will look for solutions. And then it will not drain your energy as much as when you focus on the problem. So all of these skills for you to learn, you need to first of all identify your strength. What is your body saying? What do you need to do to gain or to achieve the skills that will help you to grow? Most of this is for us to be learning. Again, I always go to the African community because I'm an African. My home is there. And because I know some of the problems that Africans face, I always go back there. Because like the Africans who are out of Africa, even some who are in Africa, when we attain a certain age, we stop learning. And we say, oh, because of my age, I cannot learn. I will just take things the way they come. It's my destiny. Nothing can change. That's a big fat lie. We can learn and learn and learn, because scientists have proven that our brains are plastic. They can stretch, they can shrink, they can stretch. So we can keep learning regardless of the age. If you have the mind to learn, you will learn. We can, like an adult, if you have that open mind, you can learn from even a 2-year-old who has just started speaking. But the point is, have an open mind. Because when we were younger, we used to know that parents know everything. And whatever parents said, children will say, yes, or their elders, yes. But now we have realized that even most of the things the elders did not know. And then they'll just tell a lie to cover up the situation. And when children start understanding things, they start building mistrust, because they'll remember that the adult said something different. And before we know it, children will avoid approaching the adult, even for advice, even for conversations. And then the adults will start blaming the children for not opening up. So, Aqua, I hope.
Just transfer to my phone. Hope I have
Okay.
internet now. Yes, I've transferred to my phone.
Okay. So over to you. I've taken a lot of your time. Over to you, Aqua.
Right. Okay. I don't even know where I ended. Okay. So, well, the long and the short is I had my last one was referred to for speech therapy, and I accessed speech therapy. What most puzzled me was the fact that we went for the speech therapy. They'll come and take them. We'll go to the clinic. They'll come and take them. Go into the room, because it was a group session. Do whatever activity they had to do with them, and then come back and then give us home activity. So I think I got into that room maybe once or twice to say, okay, this is how to do it, or this is how not to do it. And that was it. So I had to model through the activities at home, all by myself. So that's why I got interested in language delay. And when I talked about it with my colleagues at work, said, oh, but we run early intervention for language delay. I'm like, what? Where? And so I got interested, and I decided to, okay, I'm going to go shadow and see what they do. And then as the years went by, speech therapists used our children's center as a drop-in location for clinics. So parents who had concerns would come and would drop in, speak to the speech therapist, like a triage sort of, to see if there's things that they need to be doing before they're referred to speech therapy, or do they require or need speech therapy. So I said, can I come and shadow? Can I come and watch what you guys do as speech therapists? I said, why not? So I went and watched, and after a while, they asked me to start delivering the early intervention groups for language delay. So as the years went by, I noticed that there was a gap in the market. We had lots and lots of children, because 2-year checks now became mandatory since 2015. And as such, all 2-year-olds are entitled to an assessment. And so when they're assessed, a lot of the children now are being picked up who are delayed in their language. And so the waiting list now for speech and language is growing and growing and growing. Go 12, 18 months, sometimes 2 years in some boroughs. And so I thought, okay, if this is a gap, all these children need language support, I can fill the gap while they're waiting for one-to-one therapy with speech therapy. So I can do the early intervention in my part-time, because even when we're doing group sessions, sometimes there were also waiting lists. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna jump in here and see what I can do. And so it took me quite a while to gather the courage to start this business, but I eventually started, and I've been working now. I've worked with more than 15 children since I started my business. At the moment, I have 2. So slowly, because I still work, in my day job, so I do it part-time. So what I am trying to say, like Nelly said earlier, we can only model what we've gone through. We teach best from our experiences. And I got into this because my children went through it. And I see a lot of people in our community. Nelly, when she's talking about early mental health, she refers back to our community. I will refer back to our communities as Cameroonians, as Africans, as Black people. A lot of us do not like to access support. When a child is, when we go and do a visit and you say, okay, this is what the assessment is showing, a lot of parents deny. Oh, they're just lazy. Oh, they'll develop when they're ready. Oh, they'll go to school, they'll learn in school. We always like shift it to maybe somebody else. Either we deny that there's something wrong, or we shift the responsibility to somebody else to do it. And it is not helping that child. We owe it to our children to put in all our efforts to give them the best that we can. And as such, that is why I advocate early intervention everywhere I go. If I talk to a parent or even somebody, because even friends of friends have come to me and said, I've got this friend whose child is this, that, and the other. I'm like, has she spoken to the health visitor? Have the parents spoken to the health visitor? What is being done? No, they don't want the children to be labeled. If they go to the health visitor, they'll say that they've got autism, they'll say that they've this. I'm like, no, that is not the whole point. The point is not the label. The point is getting that child support to help them develop to the best of their abilities and to reach their full potential. So what if they give them a name? So what if they give them a label? In the process of giving them that label, they get the support that they need and they overcome that challenge. What has that label got to do with anything? Doesn't matter. So the important thing is to access support when you are given it. We've lots of times we've gone visited families, given them done the assessments. They've refused to get the early intervention, and the children 2-3 years down the line, they're going into reception and they're like 2 years behind their peers. And then the parents come, oh, can you refer to this? Can you refer to that? I'm like, there is a waiting list. There is no way you can jump the queue. That process should have been started 2 years ago. This child should have had early intervention. They would have maybe seen the speech therapist by now. But you will just have to follow the queue like everybody else. They're not going to prioritize your child because now they're in reception. No, they're going to they're going to go down the list that they have as they should. So I encourage all parents, any person looking after a child, if they're delayed in any aspect of their development, please seek help and seek help early. I would rather you put your name down on the list, and by the time they come to your turn, your child has caught up, and then you don't need the service anymore. Rather than wait 2 years down the line, and then you find that you still need that service, and then you start regretting. We do not want to live in regrets. We do not want to say, if I had known, oh, it's my fault. No, it's not your fault, but we could have done something about it. And so rather than wait to have that time to say, if I had known, please access help now. If you can, if you know, if you're struggling, access help now. All children, not to 5s, have a health visitor. That is your first port of call. If you do not know who your health visitor is, contact your local children's center or go to your GP. They're in contact with health visitors. But apart from the statutory, I always start with the statutory before I come to the private. Because my goal is not necessarily as much as I want to earn money. My goal is to get as many children help as possible. And as such, if you've exhausted those free services and you think that you don't have the time to wait, you want help now, that is where I come in. I'm willing and I'm available to help you. Now, what are the services that we provide attached? We do training for parents and carers. So we do training courses that you can do on your own. You can just buy the course and go through it. It's just about 2 hours. It tells you all about what language delay is, the signs and symptoms, the causes, and it tells you how children learn to talk, what are the skills needed for talking, and how you can help them learn to talk at home. The second service that we provide is the second training course that I do is one that is provided by another company called Elkland. So it's the Let's Talk with on the Fives. So it's a 7-week course and we do it together. So we can do it online or in person. And it's for 7 weeks. We look at one aspect of communication, we practice, and then you go home, you practice with your child for a week. You have a home activity that you do over that week, and then you come back and we discuss it. Another service I provide is a group service as well. 4 to 6 families together, we go through 6 weeks, 5 weeks of strategies, and then the 6th week we consolidate it, we bring it all together. So that each week we use a strategy, we practice in the session, and then you go and practice at home. We also do one-to-one intervention with children. We can do it at your home. We do it in a local community setting, or we can go into private day nurseries if that is where your child is and you want us to work in there. So we can work in collaboration with other services that are already available or your child is working with. And if your child already has a diagnosis and they have targets that have been set by the speech therapist or occupational health or school, then we can help you work with your child's targets so that they meet those targets. You do not want to work in conflict with what is already in place. If there are already targets set, then we will follow those targets and help your child achieve those targets. And then last service that I provide is parenting coach. So I work alongside parents. We look at different things like behavior, potty training, or if you just need a hand, somebody who's walked through that journey, especially if your child is delayed in any aspect of their development. When I started this, I was just focusing on those children who were just delayed in their language development. But now more and more families are coming up with their children who are autistic. And as such, I've had to educate myself in that aspect as well, because I wasn't really trained as somebody to support children with autism. So I've had to research and train myself to be able to support children with autism, because more and more inquiries are coming from families with children who are autistic and not just children who are just simply delayed in their talking. Because what I wanted, my aim was to work with those children who were just delayed in the talking. The understanding is there, but they're not yet talking. But now I've expanded and I'm working with children who are autistic as well. So if you need support in any of those things, then come, we're here to help. And we can help you navigate the services. We can talk to you about what you should be asking your childcare setting, the kinds of questions that you should be asking, what to expect from your childcare setting. If they're in the school setting, what is the role of the SENCO? What kind of questions should I be asking in the meetings? Should I even be attending these meetings? So how to work in partnership with the services that are available for your child. That is what I help families navigate as well. And when you can ask me any question at any time, and if I do not have the answer, then I'll go find out and come and tell you. I'm not saying that I'm an expert in that particular aspect or any aspect of this. We are all learning. And there's certain times I go and see families and the children are not only delayed in the language, they have other complex needs that I have never heard of. And so I learn as much from the parents as I support them walk that journey to get the services that they need for their children. So if you want to find out more about what I do at Attached SC, you can visit our website on www.attachedsc.com. You can find me on Facebook and on Instagram as well. And why Attached SC? I thought about, when I did my psychology degree, attachment was something that I really resonated with. And I thought, how do we get families engaging with their children? I said, they need to stay attached at every level, not only when they're babies, but as toddlers, as children, as teenagers, we have to stay attached. And so that is why my company is called Attached, Stay Connected, because we have to stay connected at every level and at every stage of their development. And we can help them as parents to develop the best of the abilities in all these areas. So that is what I do. Thank you for listening. Anything, Nelly?
Thank you so much, Aqua, for that. I mean, the internet played its own part, and you've still got everything out. So well done.
Thank you very much. Right, so we're going to look at why we are here together. It's not just because we love talking about ourselves. We're here together because we decided that we will bring all our skills in one place. And we started Hand in Hand Community CIC. So Nelly and I had been chatting about what we do, and we thought, okay, we've got something to offer, something unique from our experiences, life experiences, and from our professional backgrounds. We've got a lot to offer. And so we thought, how can we bring this together? And so that was where Hand in Hand came about. So Nelly, would you mind telling us what Hand in Hand do?
Okay, thank you, Aqua. Like Aqua has said, at Hand in Hand, we work with with families from disadvantaged backgrounds within Greater Manchester. And our aim is to extend to Africa, because we know that if these families from disadvantaged backgrounds don't get support, they will not attain their life potentials because they don't have those opportunities. So for us at Hand in Hand Community, what we do is we focus on mental health, emotional well-being, and early intervention for children with language delays. We know that mental health and emotional well-being impact all aspects of life. So that's one of the reasons we focus on that, because if you can manage your mental state, then you realize that you can easily deal with other challenges that come your way. So what we do is we offer different activities. For instance, we run workshops such as emotional well-being workshop for adults. And this is a 4 weeks session, 4 weeks workshop that we do it in person. And it's very interactive. We have activities, we have questions, though it's in a group setting, but the worksheets are individual because everyone's experience is unique. And when you are filling out the activities, you focus on your experience. And if people feel confident to share or comfortable to share, then they can share. But we provide a safe space where people can talk about things that they don't talk about in their communities. And it's really helpful because we have run this workshop and we've got a lot of feedback, how it's been impactful. It has helped people to understand their emotions, because some used to take like how they feel for granted, that, oh, it's nothing. But then after what they learned from the workshop, this is from feedback that we got, it really helped them to identify their emotions, identify the triggers, because sometimes they didn't know. And some of them realized a pattern in the triggers that lead to how they feel and eventually how they behave. And we gave them different tools to calm down and then focus on dealing with the problem, and not dealing with the problem just superficially, but understanding the root of the problem and dealing with it. Another workshop that we run is emotions and resilience for young people. We know that especially after COVID, though it has always been, young people sometimes are seen as the weird ones because for whatever reasons. And we know that young people, like every other person, has lots of potentials, but then if they don't build that emotional resilience, then they'll really struggle, because like after the COVID, some of the young people we spoke to, they suffer from anxiety, for instance, social anxiety, they feel very, very uncomfortable going out of the house because some fear that they will catch the COVID, though it's finished. But because it's a fear that they had for over 2 years, it's still in them. And then they are glued to their phones. And then even when they see the friends that they used to have before COVID, they even find it difficult to have face-to-face conversations. They prefer to sit next to each other and communicate by sending text messages. So we thought that helping young people to build their emotional resilience will be really good for them because they are our future leaders. We also run emotional workshop on emotions for younger children, that's primary school children. We make it in a way that the language is appropriate for them. And one thing that we insist is everyone is unique and we are all special. And we make it's not a lot of conversations, but it's a lot of activities. So children learn through play. So when we are running emotional workshops for children, we make it in a form of play. For instance, identifying the different emotions and who they can talk to, why they choose to talk to that person, so they know that it's around trust. They talk about how they feel to someone they trust. Also, we have a project that we are working on, and the project is We Are Stronger Together. And this is a transformational intervention for families. We focus on mental health, emotional well-being, and we work with each member of the family. We don't offer all the support ourselves, but if we do our assessment and we notice that families struggle with some other issues, for instance, housing or whatever the issues are, we work with partner organizations and we can do a referral, or we signpost, or we give the family the contact for other agencies that they can go there and get help. So we are just rounding up that project, and when we finish, it will go live and you will all know about it. And then we have, I think Aqua will take on this, but I'll just say this very briefly. We have another project that we have started. We call it Know Your Neighborhood. So there are a lot of amazing places around us that we do not even know. We do not even know the history. We do not even know that they even exist. So we thought that let us go and know our neighborhood, know what is around us. Because again, it helps us to get up, go learn new things, we move about, we ask questions, we interact with other people. So this is the project is Know Your Neighborhood. So we have it once every month and we go to different locations. So for the month of July, because we've already had the one in June, for next month, we will have it on the 1st of July. Am I right? Is that the right date? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So the next one will be on the 1st of July. Aqua, can you put the link on the chat, please? Or if not, I will put it when I finish speaking. And then Aqua will just play a short video of the trip that we did, the last trip that we did. Yes, we went to a reservoir.
I can't because I'm on my phone now.
Oh.
I'm able to do it. My computer played havoc on me. But you can share it from yours if possible.
Okay, let me. Okay, so what do I do? Share what now? Share screen?
Right. Share your screen and just click on the link on the video on the website.
Can you see my screen now?
It is sharing. I'm just waiting. Yes, I can see your screen. So play the video. Right, there is no sound at the moment. So that was at Green Bush Reservoir in Rochdale. So we had an amazing time with our young people. We went for a walk, we had a picnic, and we just had fun strolling around the Green Bush Reservoir. Later on, I learned that there is a village buried under the reservoir. See, I did not know the history of the place. We just went there because it was a beautiful spot and we thought we'll go and explore. So next week, next month, we're going to explore another reservoir. This time we're going to try and find out what the history of that reservoir is, and we'll let you know about it when you join us. So we're going to put a link for you to register your interest or book your place for that trip. It will be on the 1st of July in the afternoon. So you get all the details when you register. Thank you for sharing that, Nelly. It was fun. Even if we say so ourselves, we had a good time.
Yeah.
I want to share the experience with everybody else. So come explore your neighborhood with us.
Yeah, for those who are within Greater Manchester, because we'll be going to different places.
Yeah.
Okay. So with this as well, we need volunteers. We need people to help us with all what we are doing, because we need volunteers. Because like for ourselves, we go there and we do these things, like going for these walks is helpful for our mental health and our physical health. It also helps us because we learn about, like Aqua just said, we learn about things. And like, for instance, geography, that some people did geography in school, but then we only drew or we saw in textbooks. But now going to like the reservoir, we saw the different landscapes. It was really interesting. So join us.
Right. Thank you for that, Nelly. So we've talked about our well-being workshops for adults, teenagers, and young people. So we also provide early intervention workshops for parents. So if you have a child who is delayed, if you want to explore child development, if you do not know what your child should be doing at different stages in their development, then come and join one of our workshops, because we run workshops to tell you about the developmental milestones, to tell you what your child should be doing at different ages and stages of the development with the different areas of the development. Because although we focus on communication, the child is a whole child. So we're not just going to because we focus on communication and the aspect of delay, doesn't mean that we will not look at their personal, social, and emotional well-being. We'll look at their physical development as well. So if there is delay in any of these areas, we are going to tell you about it, or we're going to tell you what they should be doing, so that if you do not see that they're doing these things as they should, then you can seek help with that area of development. We also do workshops about healthy relationships for young people. We all know how, like Nelly said, they are all on their phones. Now, sometimes they can get into discussions online that are inappropriate. And because if they do not know their boundaries, if they do not know what is appropriate and inappropriate, then they may fall into the hands of groomers and things like that. And so we want to help our children know themselves, know boundaries, know what is acceptable and unacceptable, and to keep themselves safe. So we need to learn about healthy relationships, what to expect in a relationship for that matter. When you're in a relationship, be it with your friends, be it with your colleagues, be it a boyfriend or girlfriend or husband, wife, what does a healthy relationship look like? We also do life coaching and mentoring for young people, mentoring for adults if you need one. That is more of life coaching for the adults. We also look at one-to-one interventions. So we do family interventions, like the intervention Nelly just described. And we do one-to-one interventions as well, because sometimes you may go to work with the family and the whole family is not yet ready to engage, but maybe one person in the family may want to engage with the service. And so we work with that one person. Maybe if the rest of the family see the transformation that happens with that one person, they may then say, oh, what is going on here? Maybe I'll look into this as well. So when we're doing this transformational work, it's all about looking at where you are and where you want to be, because we all have gaps in every area of our life. We all have gaps in our emotional well-being, in our physical health, in our business life, or in our careers. We all have gaps, and we will look at where you are and where you want to be. And so we design a package for you according to your needs. We're not coming to tell you what you should do. We're coming to work with you on what you'd like to achieve. So that is our goal. So when we're talking about life coaching, we're not saying that we're going to come and tell you how to live your life. That's not our job. It's for you to choose how you want to live your life. Our job is to walk alongside you and encourage you to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. So yeah, I think we've talked about all the workshops that we're doing. So we work with children not to 18 or above as needed. So any other thing that you'd like to add, Nelly?
No, I think we've talked about it, and we have our website. If you want to visit us, we have the link on the chat, but we can still say it. To find out more about us, visit our website, which is www.handhandcommunitycic.com. Again, the website is handhandcommunity.com, cic.com, sorry. And we are on Facebook as handhandcom.
All right. Thank you for that, Nelly. So our vision is to see a safer community, to build a safer community. We want to live in an environment which is safe and conducive for everybody to thrive. And our mission is to provide opportunities for everybody in our community, in the community at large, to grow together and to thrive and to reach their full potential. So our values, we value integrity. We want to be authentic. We want to share ourselves with our community and our audience. And like we said at the beginning, if we do not connect with the people we work with, they'll look at us as aloof. We do not want to come and give you a face that is not real. We want to connect with you with who we are. And so that is why we're sharing our challenges as well as our victories, because life is full of ups and downs, and we will all go through these challenges. And so we want to be authentic with you, and we hope that if you connect with us, you are going to be authentic as well. Because like Nelly said, if you want to change your life, if you decided that you want a transformation in your life, you have to be committed to that transformation. You have to be willing to answer the hard questions and to reflect on who you are and what you're doing. So we love transparency. Transparency is one of our values. Empowerment. We want everybody to grow and thrive, to reach their full potential. And lastly, but not least, responsibility. We believe that we need to take responsibility for our actions and the words that we say. And so we will not come here and sit here and tell you things that we will not, if we start anywhere, we will not be able to back it up. So we're not going to come and declare that we're doing marvelous things where if you come to look in the background, you will not see. So we take responsibility for our words and our actions. And we believe that if we make a mistake, we own it. If we do something wonderful, we celebrate it. So any additions, Nelly?
The only addition is I have put the link for the Know Your Neighborhood registration form on the link. So if you want to register for our next trip, which is on the 1st of July, the link is on the chat.
Okay.
And we just want to, I just want to say thank you so, so much. Despite the technical hitches that Aqua had, we have been able to provide all the information and even more than what we thought we would give. And basically, that is us. We have just shared. Like Aqua said, when we share, it's not that we are showing off. We learn. And as we speak about our experiences, because it's coming out, we are also learning about ourselves. So all of it is a matter of learning, learning, learning. Have an open mind. Let's learn all the time, because that's how we will grow to the full potentials that we have, because everyone has lots and lots of abilities, but unfortunately, I mean, science has said it, we use just 10% of it and 90 is wasted. So thank you again so much, and we hope to see you next Thursday for another session. And if you have a topic that you want to talk about, please get in contact with us. You can send us a message. You can go on our website, send us an email or phone. All the information is on the website. Or if you want to join us on this panel, you are more than welcome. Just let us know and we will make the arrangement and get you on, because we like to hear the experience of other people too.
Thank you for that. Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye.